Wow. Welcome everyone, and good morning. Thank you for joining the 10:30 live hour of the Diana Wright Show online. We welcome you from around the world and in the United States as our viewers, and my goodness, what a day this is. Apart from the day that I will ask you to love yourself, teach your children to love themselves, and hope you said I love me this morning when you're putting on your makeup, or when you were shaving, or when you were washing your face, or whatever you were doing this morning. Hope you did what you should have done is simply I love me, because come Tuesday it is International I Love Me Day, and I'm going to start wearing my I Love Me t-shirt as of tomorrow morning until Tuesday. So we're gonna do that to try to motivate you to get one, buy one online. Yes, you can purchase them online. Of course, it takes a couple of days to get it to you, so you might not be able to get it for Tuesday, but certainly you will have it for next year when we continue. But all year, of course, we're going to continue to teach you and to remind you to love yourself, because it's so important and so indeed crucial to your well-being, because you always, apart from loving yourself, you need to listen to the spirit voice that comes to you in strange places, odd ways, and sometimes we ignore them and we walk right into tragedy. So whatever your problem is today, I simply ask, did you tell yourself that you loved you this morning? And did you as a male say, love me? Because some of the guys might not want to say, I love me, and some of the guys might not want to buy the wife beaters. But I promise I will try to get male t-shirts that says, love me. And that's under the orders of my daughter. Don't change it to just love. The men must be able to wear a t-shirt that says love me, indicating that you love you love me. Yes. So how proud are you this morning that you're loving yourself, that you've been listening to the Diana Wright Show online, and you have spread the word as much as you can on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever. 3 little words, I love me. And all the celebrities out there, they should start tweeting I love me, because some of them, I wonder if they do love themselves, the things they do and get into. But anyway, we'll put them aside for the minute and just focus on each and every one of you from around the world and in the United States, anywhere you are on the planet, and I'll say even Iceland. But Dax is going there, so it's not that out of the world. It's, yeah, it might say Iceland, and yes, it is indeed icy and cold. But even there, people need to say, I love me, through the winter time especially, to motivate yourself to get up and want to go out in the cold every morning. If you love yourself, you see, it gives you energy, it gives you peace, it gives you joy, it gives you happiness. Because the word love is a big word. Even though it's only 4 letters, it is big. It is big. And if we live in love, loving God first, loving ourselves, loving our families, our children, yes, what a more beautiful world this would be. So why don't you make your little contribution? A contribution that you can make to this world that costs no one anything. And you are the only person in control of it. By saying 3 little words, I love me, and meaning it and absorbing it and digesting it and knowing for yourself that it is true that you do love yourself, because you're wonderfully made by God. So how many of you are going to take that responsibility today to tweet people, Facebook people, call people, even those that you don't like so much, or those you hate, or those you consider enemies? Are you going to share the word of love with them today? Tomorrow? Next week? Especially Tuesday, which is International I Love Me Day? How many of you are going to go to your email and email every single person in your email box about Tuesday, I Love Me Day. That's my request to you today. I want you to Facebook, email, tweet, telephone. Speak to the person that you see in the street. Introduce them to the I Love Me crusade, courtesy of the Diana Wright Show, created by the Diana Wright Show. And my CD that I wrote years and years and years ago, it's coming to fruition. It was titled I Love Me. And it talked about the love of self, the love of your friends, the love of your neighbor, the love of your parents, the love of your significant other, your spouse. But the love for yourself is the greatest love of all. Because when you have love for yourself, the other love seems to come much easier than if you don't. So I encourage you today to get on your email, get on your Twitter, get on your Facebook, get on your phone, tell the world about the I Love Me crusade, courtesy of the Diana Wright Show. We appreciate it, and we know that you'll be doing something good for this day. Into Tuesday, April 30th, which is the official day, International I Love Me Day. Am I convincing you? Have you gotten up and did it? Done it? I've done it. I've gotten to my email. I've gotten to my Twitter. I've gotten to my Facebook page, and I am doing this thing. So as of this day, I'm going to be asking you every single day to do this. And after Tuesday, when we celebrate the day, I'm still going to ask you to continue to do this. Because for some people, it takes much longer for them to understand why they must love themselves. Because they may be so dissatisfied with their nose and their lips and their eyes. You know, I hear white women talking about, oh, my lips are too thin. Ooh, love them black lips. Hello, you're white. What are you complaining about? You have the color. So what are you complaining about? So see, everyone has a problem that they're complaining about. But if we forget about all the little problems that we could complain about ourselves, and just simply look in the mirror, accept who God made us to be, and just say, I love me just the way I am. No apologies. No worrying about what Tom, Dick, or Harry thinks about you thinking that of yourself. Because they, Dick, Tom, and Harry, need to love themselves too. So what you do when they think you're too pompous and you're too proud, just say, Harry, Dick, and Tom, please try this. Say the 3 words, I love me. And then ask them, which word do you prefer better, love or hate? And see what they say. So we will drum it into you from now until Tuesday, but we'll continue to pursue it because it is my passion to get you to a place where each and every one of you love yourselves and teach your children to love themselves, because it's so important when your children are faced with tragedy. You see that they go back to that place. Oh, and remember that you taught them to love themselves, so that gives them the energy, the spirit, and the spunk, and the chutzpah to fight for whatever it is they're fighting for. But loving themselves is key. If your child is being bullied at school, if they love who they are, they're going to stand up to that bully. And guess what? Bullies don't like to be confronted, because they're basically weak people that we need to teach to love themselves. Because bullies don't love who they are. They just bully because it gives them power. So if we take the time to teach all bullies in school to love themselves, I guarantee you they will not be bullying anyone at any time soon. So if you teach your children to stand up to bullies by loving themselves, watch and you'll see how fast that bully scrambles away. So I plead with you today. Love yourself, then teach your children to love themselves. Then you move on to your friends, your family, and those you don't like, and those you hate, and those you should never use that word. Those you think are your enemies, try to get them on your plane. Try to get them to do what you do. Spread the word. Tell everyone about the website. Let them go there. And when you go to the website, please remember that when you go to the website, I'd love for you to go down to the bottom of the page, click on the YouTube icon, and then you will see all the shows you've missed. So you don't miss anything, because you never know what we're going to say. Last night I had Minister Jeff on the program for the 8 o'clock hour of the show. And he was so good in sharing his testimony, encouraging you to know God. And as he said, it's not about your pastor. It's not about the religion. It's about you yourself knowing God, knowing who God is, and that you and only you can give yourself to God and hear God's voice speaking to you. And I can't wait for him to come back on the show, because you could feel his young voice. He's only 23. And I begged him to try to just speak to the young people. And if he can have a service in Palm Beach County on a Saturday evening at 8 until 11, and he tells me he has lots of young people there, I'm just encouraging you to find that church, the upper room, and go there. Because young people, he spoke about, young girls exposing themselves and whatever. Yes, because sometimes I'm on the street and I'm looking at young women and I'm going, oh, they might as well never had no clothes on. Because you could just see just about everything. Are you leaving anything to the imagination? Is that the way you display that you love yourself? I don't think so. I think that displays looking or hunting for something or someone. And sometimes it's just about being insecure to say, I can do this. Some young people defy their parents by doing it. So whatever your reason is, we hope you're coming from a place of love. Love, Love, 4 little letters. What a power it plugs and brings to our lives. Can you imagine a life without love? Imagine your mother doesn't love you, your father doesn't love you, your siblings don't, your friends don't. Oh, and you can't find someone to love you back. How miserable that would be. So, have you gone to Twitter? Have you gone to your Facebook? Have you gone to your email yet? And said to whomever you're speaking with, please, April 30th, Tuesday, I Love Me Day, International I Love Me Day, celebrate with us. Do something special for yourself and continue from that day forward to tell yourself every single morning and every evening, I love me. Yes. I'm sure and hope that I've convinced you to do so. I don't care where you are or what you're doing. Stop and do something good for the world. Because Sanaya and Dohar and the 2 bombers from Boston, do you think they love themselves? Absolutely not. They didn't. I am here to tell you that they didn't. And I'm going to give the mother a pass today because I think she's just talking crazy. And I think people need to stop interviewing her too because she's grieving. She's in pain. We are told that she cannot come back to the United States, or she's not coming back because she has an outstanding shoplifting thing, something damaged property thing going on with Lord and Taylor and other people. So she may not come. But, I would like for her to sit back and take some blame, because this morning she was saying the U.S. took my kids away. I thought America would protect us. Who left their children in Boston and went back to their homeland. Who did that? Wasn't it she and her husband? Why do we always try to find somebody to blame for things that we do? We need to stop putting blame where blame does not belong. The U.S. didn't do anything to her 26-year-old son. At 26, you're a man, you're married, and you have a baby. And you're talking about you thought America would protect us. And the U.S. took my kids away. You left your children, and I will use the word abandon your children to go back to your country, and left them to be raised by whom, may I ask? So I'm going to give her a pass because I think she's grieving, she's in shock, and she really is not responsible for what she's saying. So let's just give her the pass of love. Let's just pour some love on that mother, because I know she must be saying to herself in the night when no one is putting a camera or a microphone in her face, she must be asking whomever she calls the power. But I would like her to ask God, how did I raise such monsters and I did not see that they were monsters? They're not angels. Angels don't do what they did. People just asked to go to the marathon and enjoy themselves on Patriots Day. No one asked to be killed and maimed and losing their legs and their arms and brain injured and all those other things that are going on in Boston. So we give her a pass and let us pour some love on her and just ask her to shut up. Stop speaking. Because you're just making other people angry when you speak. By trying to blame the U.S. for your son's problems and issues and radicalization, self-radicalization, or whatever it is that they did. However they did it, it was done. She was asked if she saw the videos. She said no. Maybe someone should secretly, in her bedroom, show her the video so she can weep and grieve and stop speaking. I notice the father is not talking much anymore. You know, he referred to his sons talking about, oh, they're like women. Women do become jihadists and terrorists also. They do. So whatever your religion is or whatever your faith is, let's give her some love. Because I truly don't think she's responsible for all that she's saying and the blame that it's just like, you know, us. We people in general, if we don't succeed in life, we want to blame our parents. It's not your parents' fault that you did not succeed. Because if your parents said to you, Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Cinderella, you are no good. You will not come out to be anything. My advice to you would be to show them that you can be successful. And that is your conquering of the situation. And by loving yourself, conquering that and letting all the negative voices, even if it's the voice of your parent, come out of your life, I promise you your life will be so much better. There are lots of questions as to what's going on in Boston. Lots of unanswered ones, lots of ones that we are hearing things about. But let me just say to you and ask you, if you own a business anywhere, would you have thought or known that there is something that Congress passed about being able to buy terrorism insurance? Now we're finding out that the businesses may not have had terrorism insurance. Yes, they have insurance. But when people lose their business because the community was locked down by the authorities to find this 19-year-old, which, by the way, we're learning that the boat was actually in the perimeter that was cordoned off, but they failed to check the waterways. And I guess the boat was there and somehow boat never came to anyone's mind, I guess. Some politicians are blaming the FBI for not following the older brother when he went to Russia, and when he came back, his father is saying he went there for a wedding and visit family and whatever. What can we believe now anyway? Hindsight is 2020. My personal belief is that the FBI, after getting tips from Russia, should have followed the young man, even though they went and they interviewed him and they found nothing. I think he deserved to have been followed, maybe 6 months, every year or whatever, to just see what he's doing. Because there had to be a reason why the Russians decided to tell you, FBI, that this guy might be a little crazy. Not their words. Okay? So, I think a lot of us would just feel that they needed to have followed that up. But again, blaming them now is not going to change anything. The brother is already dead. So blaming the FBI is not going to solve our problems. What we need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So when you get a tip from another country for anyone, you just probably need to just kind of keep an eye, a second eye, a third eye on that person, male or female, whomever it is, because you just never know. And those crazy people on Fox talking about, how do we know we have some good immigrants? How can we get some good immigrants? I knew that this would turn out into crazy. I knew that the Republicans were going to blame President Barack Obama for what happened in Boston, and shamefully so. One of them had the nerve to stand up in the House and speak of it yesterday. I won't even call his name because he looked like he's crazy to me when he was speaking. He looks crazy, he sounded crazy, and he is crazy. How do you blame the president for this? How do you do that? Republicans are doing it. Even Lindsey Graham, Senator Graham, that I thought was kind of getting sane, seems like he's gone off the deep end again. What are Republicans thinking in their minds? Isn't this a time that we all should be united and one Boston, one America? Why are we trying to single out the president? And he's talking about George Bush had zero terrorism when he was in power. Have you all forgotten 9/11? That started the whole chain of reaction to terrorism and terrorists. We have short memories, don't we? And to date, 9/11, still the most people, most lost lives, most injured. Have we forgotten that, America? How can you forget 9/11? So are they blaming the president now, President Obama, for Sandy Hook and everything else that has happened, and the shoe bomber and the airplane guy? And hello? Have these Republicans just lost their minds? Or are they so filled with hate? Maybe they should give me a chance to come into Congress and talk to the senators and the Congress people about loving themselves. Because I don't believe they do love themselves. Because if they love themselves individually, they would not be filled with so much hate for President Barack Obama and trying to obstruct everything he does, and everything that happens bad, he's blamed for it. And Lindsey Graham has gone back to Benghazi again. Everything that happens in the world that's bad, it's Barack Obama's fault. How does that play out? Isn't it his administration and his command that got rid of bin Laden? Have we all forgotten that? Have we all forgotten the people in the streets celebrating that night when he made the announcement? So how do we blame the president for everything? Please, please, people. There's a God of justice. And there's a God through his son Jesus that is in charge of each and every one of us and can take out each and every one of us at any moment, at any time. So let us stop doing this. Let us stop spewing so much hate for President Obama. He truly does not deserve it. I don't know him personally, but I worked for all of his campaigns, and I can see, just like you can see, and I'm sure we all have a spirit that will tell us that he's not the evil person that Republicans are trying to make him out to be. So I plead with you Americans, each and every one of us Americans, stop blaming President Barack Obama for every bad thing that happens in the United States of America that involves whoop whoop terrorists, jihadists. We need to stop. Republicans just need to grow up. Aren't we supposed to be one nation when we are at war, and we are at war against terrorists? Are we just going to continue for the next 3.5 years that he's in power to blame him for everything and block him from achieving anything? We're not hurting Barack Obama individually. We're hurting the American people. Republicans, you're hurting the Americans. You're not hurting Barack Obama. When Barack Obama leaves the White House, he has his big pension to get and his security to keep and all of that good stuff. His children will be able to do anything they want to do in this world. Michelle Obama will be able to do anything she wants to do as a former first lady. So, leave them alone and focus on the American people who elected you to go to Washington to do their business. So, how about hiring me to come and spread some love crusade? I Love Me crusade in Washington. That would be very good, I think, very wise. And let us think of the word love some more instead of the word love and hate and blame. And do you know that most of the time some of these guys are just jealous and envious that Barack Obama had the nerve to be elected president? And he's black. Well, yeah, he's black and he's white too. Why do we allow envy and jealousy to shadow what we're really supposed to be thinking, what we're really supposed to be doing? God is love. The Bible tells us that, and we should love ourselves, love others, love our neighbors like we love ourselves. And it doesn't mean your next door neighbor, that's necessarily. It means your neighbors, period. So Congress and the Senate and the Tea Partiers that are there that's trying to block everything, including Florida's Marco Rubio, you need to go and read your Bible. It gives you answers. And even though a lot of the violence and everything that started in the Bible corrupted, don't we want a better world and a better place to live and raise our children? A place of peace and joy and happiness and love? Don't we want that? Don't we see how powerful the word love is and what it can do for us? Or are we just bound with jealousy and envy and hate? Give President Barack Obama a break, Republicans, and just stop it. It sounds horrible. Can you imagine the people internationally, overseas, thinking, what's wrong with those Republicans? They need to grow up. Blaming President Barack Obama for what took place in Boston. Wow. What a piece of joke it is. Okay. Let's see. Another great line this morning. So if you haven't heard of terrorism insurance, just maybe, not homeowners, now business people, you may just want to check that out. Terrorism insurance. Oh my God. Wow. What a world we're living in. So, I think that will be part of my wow moment tomorrow. And I always loved Barbara Bush. Always. Because she's a lady who speaks her mind and says it straight no matter who is mad and who is not mad. And you know what she said today? On the day that her son's library, presidential library, is opening. Today is a grand opening. I think the public is invited as of May 1st. Yes. She said this: we've had enough Bushes in the White House. Now, I could kiss her when she said that, because I don't know why everyone is trying to push Jeb Bush, the ex-governor of Florida, the FCAT governor, into running for president. And she said, yes, my Jeb, he's qualified, he's smart. But there are other families out there that need to be looked at. And we've had enough Bushes. So thank you, Mrs. Barbara Bush, for using your wisdom, as you always do, to set us straight and to tell us that you don't think that your son Jeb Bush will run for president. And I'm happy to hear that coming from his mother that always speaks her mind and speaks the truth. That is one lady I can tell you that she loves herself, because she just let you have it straight from the heart. No punches, no covering up, no nothing. She speaks about her husband's health, and she simply says this: he's going to get there to enjoy the festivities and stuff today, but it's just those darn legs, they won't move. She's speaking of her husband's legs that won't move even though he's feeling better, because he has to use a wheelchair. So she expresses herself, and she says it's just those darn legs that just won't move. I love that lady. My mom does. My mom always says to me, I just love Barbara Bush. She speaks her mind, and she is just so honest. And I am here to tell you, never met the lady, but I can tell you that Barbara Bush loves Barbara Bush. And I can see her getting up when she was a younger girl, looking in the mirror every morning and saying, I love me. So thank you, Barbara Bush, for being so honest and telling us what you would like for your son. And we hope that he listens to you, because I certainly don't think he can win anyway. Because Republicans still, in my opinion, cannot win another presidential election. They cannot win in 2016. Because by now and then, they are unable to fix their image of hate, exclusion, hate for immigrants, black people, brown people, illegal people, dreamers people. They will not be able to fix the fact that they're so obsessed with the female vajayjay, abortion, birth control. They're not going to be able to fix all the crazy things they're saying about President Barack Obama that are indeed recorded and can be replayed. They cannot fix the Aikens and those alike who spoke about rape not really being so rape. And you know, doctors know how to do that thing. Okay? So tell me how. And their lock-up hook love for the NRA. And the Republican, I think his name is Flake or something like that, who had the nerve to write a mother who lost her son in some gun shooting thing, I think it was in the theater. And he wrote her a nice letter. And then he apologized first for sending a form letter. Because, you know, sometimes when you write to the White House, I was angry. I wrote to the White House one time and I got a form letter back and I was ticked off. So I know that mother must have been ticked off. I'm telling you about my daughter's tragedy and you have the nerve to be sending me a form letter? So I know what that parent is feeling. So the senator decided to, the senator from Arizona, the senior senator, of course, is John McCain, and he's the other senator from Arizona, as my memory is coming back clear. And he had the nerve to write her a letter in his handwriting, apologizing for the form letter, telling her how sorry he was and blah, 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 and we are in this together. And then he goes and he votes no for the background checks, universal background checks. So the Republicans are hugged up, fixed up, sleeping with the enemy, the NRA, They pretend as if they're not to their constituents, and then they go behind closed doors and vote against universal background checks. 90% of Americans want that. So are they working for the people or are they not? 90%, almost 100% of Americans want universal background checks, even those who love their guns and are members of the NRA. So let me ask you, my faithful viewers, in this America, are our politicians working for us, or are they working for themselves and their power and their next election? What do you think? I think that's an easy answer. They're working for themselves to see how much money they can raise to be re-elected. And I challenge you, apart from loving yourself, I challenge you not to vote 2014. And let's see what they do. The governors and the senators and the congresspeople who are coming up for re-election in 2014. If you don't go to the polls, let's see what they do. It is already happening. It started in California this year. There was a race in California, and they were shocked at the amount of people who showed up. So small. So it's happening. Somebody's hearing my voice in California. And somebody's hearing my voice somewhere else in America. Spread the word. No voting in 2014. And let's see how our politicians, McConnell is running too in Kentucky. Kentuckians, you should not go to the polls and vote for McConnell, because he is not taking care of your business. He's not taking care of your issues and your problems. And I'm sure if you write him, you'll get a form letter. And if you beg him not to vote against something, he will secretly go and vote against it. Even though he might tell you in the letter, not that he's going to vote for it, but, oh, we are all in this together. What hypocrisy we deal with every single day. Whether it's with our loved ones or friends, or please just cut the... You know, if you read your Bible, it tells you hypocrisy is one of the things that God just truly hates. So who are you being a hypocrite with today? The thing I ask you to do most is not to be a hypocrite. Single-handedly, you can just simply love yourself. You need no one to help you to do that. You have no one to blame to let you do that. You just have to simply love who you are. Love yourself. The Bible asks you to do that. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yeah? So please, just let's get moving. I'm trying to change some of my graphics here so you can get the different ones that we do have. All right? So go through the show. We try to do that. And I am just reminding you again, as I welcome you from around the world and in the United States, please. Simply spread love, not hate. Stop the envy, stop the jealousy, and do me a favor. Forgive anyone that has wronged you. Leave them to God. God will take care of them in due time, and you will be alive to see. So for all those Republicans and those Foxies at Fox Network that are blaming President Obama for the Boston bombings, please get a life and stop doing what you're doing. Spreading your hate and spewing your hate, it's not a good thing. Okay, there's an airline called China Spring Airlines, and they're stepping ahead of the other carriers. They are making their flight attendants sport maid and butler uniforms. You know, the maid's uniforms, that's black with a little white apron and the white on the sleeves, and they wear the little white hat. And the butlers, you know, they have on their black jacket and their white shirt and black pants and the little bow tie. That's what China Spring Airlines is doing. I thought that to be quite funny. And taking costume play or cosplay out of the bedroom into the skies. I also learned that Virgin Atlantic allows you to flirt on their flights There's a special thing that they have, and you can, if you like someone across the way in the seat next door, you can send them a drink and a little flirt. Oh my God. Whoa. This is really wow. So, even the pilots on China Spring Airlines are getting into the action and will report to work in butler uniform. Not everyone is happy about this anyway, I can tell you that. Some say traditional outfit would be more appropriate. Others say the outfit is disrespectful. I agree. And the hair down, high-heeled outfit could be dangerous in an emergency. So can you imagine a flight attendant in her maid get-up, and there's an emergency and she has to get into serious flight attendant mode? Did anyone think of that? Only this person, I guess, who did. So if you're planning to travel China Spring Airlines, you will just get the experience of maid's uniform and butler uniform. How about that? Wonderfully spoken. Now, I'm happy to report this story. It's a story that I reported last week, Thursday and Friday. It was on my wow list last Friday with Dax. Dax won't be with me tomorrow. He's going to be flying off somewhere. But he'll be back to celebrate I Love Me Day on Tuesday when we do that. So we'll have him join us. We'll have Judith with us on Tuesday morning to talk about People 490. She'll be with us to celebrate I Love Me Day, International I Love Me Day. Whoa, I'm so proud. I'm so happy that I'm sharing love, giving love, and you're receiving the love. Thank you. Praise God, I should say, more than anything else. Through his son Jesus, all this is possible. And you will be a part of it. Because I know that I'm trying to win some souls for the kingdom. And I know that Minister Jeff helped to win some souls for the kingdom. So did Pastor Sewell last week, and Pastor Monrose and Elder Seaton. He is a pastor too. We hope that we win some souls for God's kingdom through the Diana Wright Show live. 10:30 every morning, and the 8 o'clock hour in the evening. We decide how we work that. We're not on a Friday evening, of course. So, here we go. I'm happy to report that Lauryn Hill has signed a new 5-song deal with Sony Music for $1 million. This will allow Lauryn to pay her tax debt and not go to prison. Isn't that wonderful news? Hill owes about $504,000 after neglecting to pay taxes on the $1.8 million income between 2005 and 2007. She has until May 6th to pay off the total IRS tax bill and avoid serving time in jail like Wesley Snipes. Happy for Lauryn and much love. I surely hope that she now just deals with herself and say to herself every single day, I love me. Every day from this moment on. So we hope that, Lauryn will take the time to love who Lauryn is. Not try to find a guy or all of that to heal your wounds and take care of you, but love Lauryn. Love the Lauryn that I remember in the movies. The Lauryn who sings so beautifully. Love yourself, Lauryn, please. I know you might not be watching, but you never know. This word will get to you at some point. Someone might know you that's tweeting or Facebooking. So we wish you well, we give you love, and we hope that you will focus on the Lauryn that loves Lauryn as of now. And teach your children to love themselves too. But also good news from the IRS. The IRS has given Boston taxpayers extra time to finish their tax returns. And that is because of the bombing that took place in Boston last Monday. Great heart and great news for love today. So we give love and we throw love out to Lauryn Hill and wish her the best. Hope that she get some good songs going and they make a hit and she can pay off her tax bill and all will be well again, and she will just have to take time to love Lauryn Hill. The Lauryn Hill that I remember, not the one that's going through all the struggles right now. So this is part of the struggle, but she can get back to a place where she loves herself and do good for herself and her children. I think she has 5 children. So let's see what she does. I'll keep following Lauryn Hill because I truly like Lauryn Hill. Was a beautiful young woman who I thought was going to be a big star, and she became a big star, but somehow, some way, she lost her way and got into various struggles that she even thought that people were threatening her family and herself, so she had to hide out for a long time and all that kind of stuff. So we wish her well. All right? Okay. This is a very interesting story taking place in New Jersey. Girls are being banned from wearing strapless dresses to an 8th grade dance. Now, I don't see why 8th graders should be wearing strapless dresses, but that's just me as a parent. So, and this is happening at a dance that should take place for the students, 8th graders at the Readington Middle School in New Jersey. The principal, who is standing up for her principles, her name is Sharon Moffat. She says that the sleeveless dresses will distract boys. She said the young gentlemen are encouraged to wear collared shirts, collared meaning a collar, and trousers. Many boys wear ties and jackets. Young ladies should wear a skirt, dress with straps, or dressy pants outfit. Jeans or sneakers are not appropriate for this event. That's a quotation from the principal, Sharon Moffat. Now, parents call the new dress code an abuse of authority. They say the girls have already bought dresses and the dance is not being held on school property or being funded by the school. The group of mothers took the complaint to the school board. I didn't see a follow-up on that online this morning, but I'm going to check back and find out what happened at the school board meeting. Now, my question to you is, are strapless dresses too sexy for 8th graders? And the next question is, should the principal and the school board have a say in what 8th graders are going to be wearing at their dance? I didn't even know 8th graders supposed to have dance. Why do we come up with these things in the school to stress the parents' pockets? Why do 8th graders need a dance? Don't they have prom in 12th grade that they can wait for? Why do they need a dance? And why do 8th graders need to be wearing strapless dresses and be sexy anyway? They're only 8th graders. Just like I asked the question, why is it that every bride believes that they should wear a strapless dress, a gown, even if their arms look horrible and their whole top look horrible? They try to let some people convince them to wear a strapless dress. What is that about? A strapless dress is not only the only dress that is sexy. You have other dresses with straps that are also sexy. And are we trying to get our 8th graders to be sexy anyway? And you know, parents who are out there who are trying to make their little children look like adults from their 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, be careful what you wish for. Because those little kids will come out to be little Sauls. You know Saul, who became Paul in the Bible? So let us not rush mothers to be angry about a policy of a principal who has all right to set the policy, in my opinion, and so does the school board. Just like they set the policy for school uniforms, you can't wear, like a batty rider, like a shorts showing, all your parts. You're not allowed to wear a pants dropping off of you? Because if the principal is a principal, they will make sure you can't go to class with your pants falling down and your underwear is showing. That's just devilish behavior, if you ask me. So, isn't this an extension of the dress code? Why are the parents getting so upset? And why do you even want, all you need to do is go to the store and just build a little nice, you bought the dress already, take it back to the store, or if you can't take it back because 30 days is gone, and I doubt that, I think parents are just trying to be difficult, just have someone make a nice little bolero and cover up the shoulders of your 8th grader. Your 8th grader does not need to be sexy. Because yes, 8th grade boys have eyes and they look and they will be influenced. So the principal has a point. And parents talking about abuse of authority. We throw around the word abuse and bullying like on Housewives of Orange County. You know, one of the young women there keep talking about people bullying her. Has she known to be bullied? Does she know what the word bully really means? And has she ever really been bullied? Those ladies on the show are not bullying her. They're just telling her what some of her problems are. Like she pretends like her husband is this angel and he's not. And they pretend like they're so godly and they're not more godly than anyone else. So, you know, some of us are so religious and so, you know, as Minister Jeff says, we should forget about the religion and all those other things and focus on God. What would God have us do? Some of us like to ask the question, what would Jesus do? Maybe that's what we should do in this case. So parents, stop getting so upset. I mean, you know, you don't need your 8th grader to be sexy. Okay? Now, you know, one of my favorite guys that I know one of my viewers hate this guy, but I don't because I try not to hate anyone. I just think he's funny. He's hilarious. And, you know, he's been a successful businessman because his father set up and laid a foundation and left him a legacy that he just made better and bigger. So I'll give him that. I know that he went and he bought up all his books, I'm told. He bought us all his books so that it could make the bestseller list of the New York Times. So I guess if you have friends that will buy up all your books to make it #1 on the New York bestseller list, you should get all those friends in. Okay, all my friends out there, I am recruiting you to buy up my books in hundreds and let it become a bestseller on the list, the New York list, New York Times bestseller list. And of course, you can do the same at Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever. Tricks in the trade. My goodness, there's a trick and a trade in everything that you do. Tricks, there's tricks. Manipulation. I guess we're all manipulators by just being a person, a human being. We're all manipulators, I guess. Women manipulate men, men manipulate women to get them to do what they want to do. Okay, so here we go. Britain's Advertising Standards Agency has ruled that Donald Trump's anti-wind farm advert, that's his advertising that he's running in Scotland, should be withdrawn in its current form. The independent advertising regulator said the ad from Trump International Gold Club Scotland is misleading and cannot be substantiated. Now you know that Sir Donald is spreading his wings to Scotland with the golf course. And it's not necessarily his. He's putting his name on it. Yeah? So, you know, merchandising. So we don't know if it's really his golf course or it's owned by someone else and they're just using the Donald's big name, you know. Like I remember I have a girlfriend in Los Angeles who changed her name to Trump when Trump was really hot. Because she said, well, you know, if you call and you say your name is Diana Trump, then everybody will jump and answer you. The ad warns that wind farms would hurt Scottish tourism. That's what Donald Trump's ad is saying, and mar Scotland's beauty. I wonder how the Donald actually even knows that. It features a photograph of a wind farm development overlooking a crowded highway in California. Trump has been fighting the wind energy project, which he believes may mar the view from his luxury golf resort in Scotland. The Standards Agency said the Trump resort has been told not to make claims that could not be proven and not to use misleading imagery. So, Sir Donald, why are you using California images in Scotland? Maybe you should find some others, and maybe you should tone it down, because you don't want these Scottish people to get mad about your luxurious golf resort in Scotland. Okay, so that's a story about the Donald. Everywhere the Donald goes, he creates problems. He heats up controversy at some point. All right, let's see what we got here. Have you thought about the samples you eat at Costco? Now, that's a very interesting story. The supermarkets, when you go in like Publix and they have that free sample, do you keep going back and back and back for the same item? Filling your pocket and your cart and your bag with stuff? Well, you might want to listen up right now. Are you on your way to Costco right now? Hope you're taking the laptop with you or the iPad so you can watch the show, because you're going to miss this and you don't want to miss it. Well, a Minnesota retiree, Erwin Lingist, was warned to stop taking so many free samples from his supermarket's deli department. He persisted, and the store security guard and a sheriff officer stepped in. In Erwin's pockets, they found more than 12 packets of soy sauce and 2 plastic produce bags with 1.46 pound of summer sausage and beef stick samples. Now, you know, the produce bag is that bag that you take up when you're going to put your tomatoes or whatever you're buying that's loose. That's the bag, okay? Erwin pleaded not guilty to a trio of misdemeanors and a year of unsupervised probation. And the charges were later, of course, dismissed. But Erwin is back in court. Why? Erwin is suing the Super Value grocery chain for violating his civil rights. He said the samples were free. Absolutely, Erwin, the samples were free. And the store had no right to eject him by force. Super Value, in response, says Erwin broke the societal norms and common customs understanding regarding free samples, free sample practices. I'm serious. I just cracked up when I saw this. And Erwin was caught filling produce bags with up to 20 cookies from the kids' cookie tray. Okay? So poor Erwin did all of that. And, you know, when I read it, I reminded myself of my experiences at Costco. So I try not to go for samples, because when you go for samples, sometimes people are actually like trying to mow you down to get to the front to get the samples. And when they get the samples and it's good, they're taking like tons of it from the tray instead of just taking, you know, what their family that's present wants. Like, you know, I would probably take 3 if I'm at the front of the line. They're taking a whole lot, almost the whole tray, you know. So when I read this story, I thought of all the people who go to Costco only to eat the samples. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating the samples, because most of the times when you try the samples, you end up buying the product because you like it. A lot of people have no intention of buying any products. They just go to sample. No, that is not right. But poor Erwin was arrested for taking too many samples. So when you go to Costco and when you go to Publix, when they have that nice food cooking, try not to take too many samples, because you might just be arrested or you may just be asked to stop taking so many samples. And how embarrassing that would be. Okay? So please, 1 sample, maybe 2, but please don't keep going back and filling your bag with 20 of the cookies from the kids' tray of cookies. That's not cool. Okay? So I guess Irwin violated the principles of free samples. Alrighty, let's see here now. I didn't finish reading you this the other night when I had Dr. Melanie on. So women use both sides of their brains to listen. Men don't. So when your husband is not seeming that he's listening to you, don't get upset. It's just the way he's wired. Men think about sex all the time. Women don't. They're saying not so fast. Only 50% of men actually think about sex all the time. Other men are not thinking about sex all the time. Men and women spend more money differently. Absolutely. Men want to buy cars. They want to buy drinks. They want to buy dinners. They want to buy lawnmowers. They want to buy things for the yard, that kind of stuff. Now, women just simply want to buy clothes, shoes, handbags, and jewelry. So they are different. Remembering birthdays and special occasions. No, please don't go knuckling your husband over his head and being mad with him for days because he forgot the date of the anniversary and the birthday of your daughter, your only child, no doubt. He forgot your birthday too? No, that's just how he's wired in his brain. He doesn't remember as much as women remember. We women remember a lot more than our husbands or significant others. So, men are not as sympathetic as women. Absolutely. When I will cry over a movie, my husband is going, why are you crying? So, men are just not as sympathetic as us. So don't get mad with your husband when he's not showing sympathy or empathy for something that you are crying and bawling about, ladies. He's just not wired that way. And men are wired to check out other women. We discussed that one with Dr. Melanie. It's just the way they're wired. So if your husband is looking at another woman, which, I've seen that with my husband, I don't care. I just keep walking fast. If he wants to be checking out some other girl, that's his problem, not mine. I love me. Remember, I love me. So if he wants to check someone else out, knock yourself out, brother. So if your husband or your significant other is trying to check another woman out, don't get mad. That's just the way he's wired. How are you wired today? We'll find that out in a minute. Okay, I just want to share this story with you because I think it's kind of interesting that lots of Americans are actually not owning a bank account. Lots and lots of Americans don't own a bank account. We'll go in more details because I thought it was a wow story. There are plenty of reasons people still live all cash lives, but the sheer number who do it might surprise you. At a time when the majority of Americans use online banking, I hate that. And some even deposit checks using their cell phone cameras, don't like that either. Roughly 8% of Americans, 115 million households, don't have a checking or a savings account. This, according to the census data compiled by the FDIC. FDIC that insures your money in the bank. The numbers are far higher among minorities. More than 20% of African Americans and Hispanics are essentially left out of the American banking system. So they are putting their money under the mattresses, in the closet, in the fridge, in the freezer, all over the place. Frozen in the cash-only past. They face myriad kick them while they're down situations where getting money costs money. Banks typically charge $6 to cash a check. Want to secure an apartment? Fee-based money orders are the only option. Without credit cards, they must turn to triple-digit interest rate payday loans for emergencies. Horrible thing. Now, they talk about Lasonia Kristen of Jackson, Mississippi. She tries to avoid getting paid in checks, but when her state tax refund for $231 arrived recently, she had to pay $7 to cash it at a nearby convenience store. Kristen works at Walmart. Her paychecks are deposited onto a prepaid debit card. So if you don't have a bank account and you don't have direct deposit to a bank account, some companies will put it on a prepaid debit card. But this is a trick now. An improvement over old-fashioned paper paychecks, which led to high check cashing fees. It's hardly a good substitute for direct deposit. One cash withdrawal per period is free, but the others cost you $2. She can avoid the fee by shopping at Walmart and getting cash back at the checkout counter. So if you get your paycheck from Walmart on a check cashing card, that means you need to spend that money in Walmart and then you get the cash back and you don't pay that $2. So I'm sure if you work at Walmart, you will be doing that. She's among the 60% of unbanked Americans who previously had a checking account. Kristen used to share one with her sister, but it cost her dearly. She was cheated. There was an overdraft here and an overdraft there, and it just didn't work out, she said. Kim James at the Dove House, a halfway house in Durham, North Carolina, that helped her get back on her feet after struggles with poverty and addiction. Fuentes Sanchez made a fairly good living working for a tree removal company in Lombard Bridge, North Carolina. About 10 years he worked there, but he was skeptical of banks. And when he tried to open an account, he was surprised by the cost of opening the account. Instead of making money, I would have to pay fees, he says. And so he used to keep money in the house. We were always trying to look for ways to hide the money in the house and keep it safe, he says. At one time, Fuentes Sanchez had $25,000 stashed in different places throughout his house. His Latino community had been plagued by house burglaries because neighbors did the same. So they started to be robbed because I guess robbers realized that the Spanish people were saving their money in their house. When his wife got cancer, her treatments devoured all their savings, down to their last $500. And before she passed away, she convinced him to open a bank account at Latino Community Credit Union, which was opened in part to help stem the burglary problems. She managed the money and was disciplined enough to avoid spending it, said Fuentes. He said his wife was very good at managing the money and she never spent that $25,000 until they were forced to spend it on medical bills. And now he raises 5 children alone. Sometimes sees something and tempted to buy it, but now the money is in the bank so I can't access it. She even put first $5 in there for me. So she's saving. So, you know, all of this just goes to show that not everyone is participating in all that we think is so important, like banking and, you know, paychecks and direct deposit and credit cards and all that kind of stuff. Some people are choosing to live by cash only. Wow. I'll give you the rest of the story tomorrow. As I thank you so much for joining me today from around the world and in the United States. And please, I beg you, remember April 30th, next Tuesday, is International I Love Me Day, created by the Diana Wright Show Live. We're on 10:30 in the morning and 8 p.m. every evening, except Friday evenings, and sometimes Monday evening we take off too. Yes, and we take off for vacations, you know, because you should have a vacation. So that will be coming. So, you know, Americans are always working and trying to kill themselves. You must take a vacation. It's important to recharge your batteries and rest and sleep uninterrupted without thoughts and without thinking about what am I going to say tomorrow on the show. Yes, it's deserved. But I'll let you know. I'll just be missing in action. How about that? But anyway, thank you so much. And please go to your Twitter page, go to your Facebook page, go to your email and email everyone in your email box and tell them about the I Love Me Crusade by the Diana Wright Show Live. We do it. We encourage you because we know that the biggest and the most powerful word in and on this earth is LOVE. So if you start by you, just you, and you are powered to be you and love you. And 3 little words, how easy are they to say? I love me. And I'm going to start wearing my t-shirt as of tomorrow morning, right into Tuesday. And of course, I know that Judith will be wearing hers from People 490. I know Dr. Melanie will be wearing hers on Tuesday evening. And I know Noblet Gale from Save a Life Jamaica Foundation will be wearing hers to celebrate. And some other people around the country. Like my cousin in New York. I hope she's going to wear hers on Tuesday too. Maybe she can't wear it to work. But anyway, you can wear it under your jacket and just flash it. Expose it when you can to a nearby neighbor. And encourage them to love themselves too, and go onto my web store and buy up all the t-shirts that I have. And if I don't have your color or your size, I'll order it and get it to you. So, are you going to celebrate with me? Are you going to make it your mission to try to make each and every one of your friends and family members and even your enemies love themselves the way I love myself? Yes. And I know lots of people like Dax Dunn and lots of other my friends that love themselves dearly. And so their lives are so much better. Less stress, less depression. Are you depressed today? I invite you to go to that mirror. I challenge you to get up right now and go to that mirror and look in it and say to yourself 3 little words. I love me. And God loves me too. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Can we forget those words? No, we can't. So as we go into the celebration of Tuesday, April 30th, the International I Love Me Day, I encourage you, I command you, I challenge you, whichever word you want to put to it, to love yourself. And teach your children and those around you to do the same. Even your enemies and the people you don't like that much at work. Your co-worker. Please encourage that co-worker to love themselves right at this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. And as we move into the year, we're going to give you this challenge every day to go to your email, go to your Twitter, go to your Facebook. And apart from loving us and all those good things and reminding your friends to love themselves every day, we want you to spread the word because it's important. So we thank you so much for joining us today. Keep hope alive. And just keep on dancing. I hope you opened up your box, whether it's gold or purple today, and you found the blessing that God had for you for this day. So thank you for joining me from around the world and in the United States. As I say, au revoir, adios, ciao, and stay prayed up, be blessed, and remember, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Have a great day and be blessed. There you go, there you go, there you go. Okay, let's see now.